You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, I've got your spoilers for the week of October 20th through the 24th, including the return of horrible Ian Ward and also Phyllis imploding in public and embarrassing herself as usual. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and be sure and stay around until the end, and I will have the list of all the daytime Emmy winners for those of you that didn't watch the broadcast and want to know who won the trophies. Hey, click subscribe if you're not following us, and now let's get right into it. Monday, October 20th is season 53, episode 10 of YNR. And we've got Nate and Victoria out for dinner at the GCAC. And they wind up getting pulled into Christine and Danny's bachelor and bachelorette parties that they didn't know were happening. They were kind of trying to fly under the radar of the paparazzi. I don't know how much paparazzi there is around a one-hit wonder, but anyway, we're going to go with what they've written. So Victoria tells Nate, please don't mention Noah's crash. It will bring down the party vibe, but there's plenty of bad news to go around. So the party vibe is gonna have some awkward moments. Jack, Michael, Devon, and Nate are all hanging out and toasting Danny. Downstairs with Christine, we've got Traci Abbott, Victoria, Lauren, Diane, and Abby. So, of course, Phyllis shows up to crash and make a scene. Michael spots her coming in and warns her, do not mess this up. But that annoys Phyllis so much when he tells her to go to bed like a child. She heads down to bother the ladies, and when she reaches for a glass of champagne, Lauren stops Phyllis and says, you gotta leave. Diane assumes Phyllis is there to ruin the party, and Phyllis lies to Lauren and says that it was an accident. She didn't even know that they were having the party. Lauren says that Phyllis is being a B word, which she doesn't like hearing at all, but it's true. Christine talks about love being better this time around and how she'd given up on love until Danny came back in her life. Christine is even hoping that Phyllis will find love so that she will butt out of her life and leave her and Danny alone. Phyllis is whining to Lauren about Christine ruining her life and stealing Danny from her. And then Phyllis calls Christine cruel for throwing her happiness in her face. You know what? Phyllis's face doesn't need to be at the party to even have it thrown into, right? You know, she says that Danny is making a huge mistake marrying the bug. And Christine says Phyllis is crazy and cannot find or keep love. And the closest thing she had to it was awful Jeremy Stark, which is kind of a funny callback. So Phyllis physically lunges for Christine, but she's held back, and Traci chimes in. She's had enough, as nice as she is, and says, just stop it. Phyllis says she's not crazy and says that Cricket has no soul. So many insults. Phyllis says she is leaving this loser party and says it's going to be a loser marriage, and says Danny is going to be running from Christine soon. Danny thanks Jack for introducing him to Christine way back in the day. They touch on some down topics like Amy's cancer recovery, Damien's death, and Cole dying before they focus on brighter topics. Phyllis comes back upstairs and gripes to the men. She tells Danny that Christine said hateful things to her. Phyllis is ranting about Christine's lies and hatred, and Michael says Phyllis shouldn't have even butted into their party. And then Danny asks how Phyllis provoked Cricket, and that makes her mad because he's blaming her, which is accurate. Phyllis runs out. Downstairs, Traci reminds Christine that Phyllis just went through some serious trauma. The guys all come downstairs. They combine the bachelor and bachelorette parties in time for the lights at the GCAC to all go out at once. And of course, they assume it's Phyllis being Phyllis. Danny goes up to check it out, and he runs into her, but Nate is checking things out and says it's construction, not red, which is surprising. Danny says he's worried about Phyllis. She's lashing out like she did in the past. And she tells Danny that Christine called her crazy, but then Phyllis admits that she really might be. She wants Danny to be happy, but just not with Cricket. But Danny says Christine is it for him. Danny actually is nice and asks Phyllis to join the party. She says no. Michael is hoping that Phyllis's obsession is over once and for all. And Danny plays some music while they wait for the lights to come back on. He serenades Christine and they share a sweet kiss as Phyllis lurks and watches. On Tuesday, October 21st episode of Young and the Restless is season 53, episode 11. Phyllis takes a bet on something risky. Sounds like something to do with Kane. Tessa gets very bold. Looks like she is drunk. She is stumbling on the stairs at the GCAC and plants a big old kiss on Daniel, and he does kiss her back. Kane tries to make things right with Devon. That won't be easy since Colin, with a little assist from Kane, built Devon out of billions. And of course, he broke Lily's heart, but Devon did wind up getting the money back, but still hard to say bygones about something like that. Wednesday, October 22nd on Young and the Restless, season 53, episode 12, Daniel makes a hard decision. Obviously, this is something to do with Tessa and the smooch. Nick and Sharon are very worried about Noah's injuries. He's got extensive craniofacial injuries. He's got swelling in his brain, and it looks like someone tried to kill him, and it remains to be seen if Detective Burrow is actually a real cop or somebody pretending to be a cop. We'll find out. This week, Claire shows up at the hospital to check on Sharon and Nick and Noah, and Mariah has to face her past. Ian Ward is going to pop up at the clinic to torment Mariah. Of course, everybody thinks that Ian is dead, but we all know that he's not. He came to, I think, in the ambulance. Thursday, October 23rd is season 53, episode 13 of Young and the Restless. Kyle tries to dig up some dirt on Holden, and Kane is taken by surprise by Phyllis, and Sienna gets to meet Nick. Remember, she had been trying to call Noah's phone, and it looks like she might have been the Good Samaritan that called the cops. Friday, October 24th on Young and the Restless, season 53, episode 14. Sally really takes a risk for Audra. Kyle tries to get some info out of Sienna, and I'm sure it's about Holden. Kyle is watching as Holden talks to Sienna, and then Claire walks up and sees Kyle watching Holden, and she doesn't like that. And Kane and Phyllis reach an understanding. Ray Wise is back as Ian Ward on October 22nd. We've got Abby Newman and Traci Abbott back for Christine's bachelorette party and some other wedding activities. Lucas Adams will make his official debut as Noah Newman on November 4th. When he is back in Genoa City, we may not see his face till then. Now to the Emmy winners. Best guest star, Allie Mills from General Hospital. She plays Psycho Heather Weber. Best emerging talent from Bold and the Beautiful, it's Lisa Yamada as Luna Nizawa. Best supporting actor went to Jonathan Jackson, who plays Lucky Spencer on General Hospital. The sole and only win for Young and the Restless was in the Best Supporting Actress category. Susan Walters won for her role of Diane Jenkins Abbott. Best actor went to Paul Telfer from Days of Our Lives. He plays Xander Kyriakis. Best actress went to General Hospital's Nancy Lee Grahn. She plays Alexis Davis. And best writing and best daytime drama both went to General Hospital.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.